What is going on, guys? Oh,
There it is, baby.
yeah, we got the Cokes out.
I just spilled it all over me. That sucks.
Welcome back to the Misfortune Podcast. Quick shout out to all the Trump supporters that are grieving right now.
Hey.
Take a bunch of dicks in your mouth and fucking go to hell, because you're going to be politically irrelevant for the next 4 years. Anyways.
With that out of the way.
We're back. We're back, baby, and we are not doing Fast and Furious again.
Again, because why didn't we do it? Oh, your mic wasn't working.
Yeah, it was not working for some godforsaken.
It's working now, though.
Yeah, and so,
odd.
And so we've resolved to just have an episode where we do 2 movies. So I think what do we say, like 6, 7, 8?
Yeah, one of those. It'll probably have 7 in it. Oh, maybe 6 Tokyo Drift.
And 7. Ooh, that's a good idea. Because I was about to say 7's a lot to unpack by itself.
Yeah, 7 was the big one.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
peak right there.
Yep.
So we got some shit to talk about today.
We do. We have a lot.
First of all, we got the transitionary kind of topic with from the last episode. We watched Code Geass, Lelouch of the Resurrection.
We did. Yeah, so I guess I'm trying to think about what we covered last. So we essentially talked about obviously Code Geass itself, and then
the
Akira movies. Yeah, so
we talk about the compilation movies because I didn't watch them. I only watched the Resurrection.
Long story short, it's just Code Geass with a few added scenes and cool new openings, and Shirley lives, and they play Mosaiku Kakeda in the 3rd movie, and it's really cool.
That's pretty dope. Yeah,
that's all you need to know.
Best ending, baby.
That's pretty much it. But yeah, so we watched.
So it was essentially like a separate kind of continuity almost.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think the way that they're doing it now is there's going to be like the TV show continuity, which obviously is over, or at least maybe they'll make another thing. I doubt it. I think they're just going to go the movie route. Then there's the movie route, which is the compilation movies, essentially, which is just Code Geass, but in movie form. And then with the newest edition, Lelouch of the Resurrection, which came out February of last year.
Recently. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I remember seeing shit for like new Code Geass, because I mean no one's gonna hype up the compilation movies when they're essentially just literally the same fucking thing.
And also at that time they had been making Code Geass movies. I think up until this year, I'm pretty sure they've made a code at least one movie every year for Code Geass since like 2013.
Yeah, so it's a live franchise. So
it is. So
how has this franchise been carrying on with Resurrection, you would say?
I'll tell you what. I watched this movie 3 times within 2 weeks.
Oh!
You
also watched Code Geass the series apparently 4 times, so that would make sense.
Well, sort of. So I watched Code Geass, and then I watched season 2 with you.
Yeah.
And then I watched the compilation movies, and then I watched Code Geass again.
Yep.
So I watched it a lot. But yeah, Resurrection, it's, in my opinion, it's a very good movie. I enjoy it.
I liked it too. My overall thoughts on it are, to me it was basically like a pretty good, like probably top tier Code Geass episode.
Yeah,
some cool new Geasses, we got some more Lelouch keyboard mashing,
It's funny because now that I think about it, they introduce the same number of Geasses, like, through the entire series as they do within, like, that movie.
Yeah, and they're pretty cool, to be honest. I will give them
Yeah,
props that I do
there's that
like them.
guy there's that guy who, like, creates illusion it's basically the girl from Stranger Things season 2 who just, like,
Yeah,
creates illusions and makes you, uh, hypnotized, sort of. And
yeah, it's
then
pretty neat.
there's, Shamna, I believe her name was, who, she has the Groundhog Day powers.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, she
she could just be
dies and
like,
then she
"I
goes
I
back.
I just fucking kill me," and she goes back in time.
She just, like, kills herself a million times in the
Yeah.
movie. Um, but no, yeah, I think it definitely sort of plays out like a Code Geass movie. Obviously, it's, a lot higher quality than it used to be since, it
Oh,
was
yeah.
made over 10 years after the series aired. Um, but no, I think it looks super cool. The music is, they carry over some music from uh, the original series, and then they have their own original music, and then they have the gospel song that they play at the end
Oh, yes,
that
dude.
just
Oh, man.
continuously says "Revive," which
I
sounds like a
almost
church
became
song.
I almost became a believer by the end of those credits, to be honest.
Yeah, it was
Uh,
inspiring.
uh, but yeah, um, I'm trying to remember, was there any CGI used in this movie? I feel
Uh,
like there was.
it's possible okay, so there's
It
that
was
one part
sparingly used.
yeah, well, I think that's what's good, not to, like, hate on CGI or anything because it works, in its own way when it works, like in the Akito
Yeah,
movies. Um, but I think CGI is sort of best when it's used and it looks good, but you can't tell that it's CGI. Like, you
right.
don't really notice it necessarily.
That's the goal. I mean, that's kind of the goal of CGI, other than, if
Right.
you are intentionally wanting to make it give it that uncanny
Yeah.
valley kind of feeling.
But, I guess the only part that I can think of where CGI is used is, you remember the part where Lelouch is first resurrected and, like, for whatever reason, the room just turns, like, gold?
Oh,
That's the only
yeah.
part. By the way,
You're
that
right, I
looks
remember that part
incredible.
now.
That looks awesome.
Yeah.
But I think, like, they're, like, like, golden confetti pieces or something that are
Yeah,
just, like, flying around the room, but I think that's the only time that I can really think of CGI other than, like, obviously when Geass is actually being used.
right.
Uh, but no, I mean, visually speaking, it looks incredible, like, it's the best looking thing to come out of it. I like the new style because, like, they keep the original art style. It's much sharper and
Yeah, that's true.
it's like, a whole lot cleaner.
Yeah,
Um
and you got some I mean, I like the designs of all the new characters they introduced. One of them kind of reminded me of I forgot what the fuck his name was from Darling in the Franxx. The fucking blonde guy who was always like, "Oh, you
Oh,
fucking yeah."
what's his
He had
Mitsuha.
like a semi-British accent, but not British accent. Like,
Oh, no, not Mitsu the guy who's in the Nines or whatever they're fucking
yeah, the
called.
nines. I wanted to say
The
the 11s, but I was
Nines.
like,
Ah,
"Oh, show fucker."
too many numbers. Um,
Um,
no, yeah, he had, like, the pseudo British accent, sort of.
yeah.
Yeah, I like those sort of characters that always have, like, the British accents and they're speaking in high pitched voice.
Oh my fucking god, I hate them.
I know
Oh.
you don't like them, but I love those characters. Um,
Overall, this movie had. I mean, I did. It was kind of weird to have like Lelouch be this like pretty much zombie, and um,
yeah.
it, and it kind of took away from me even liking him too much because like when he actually got into like combat and shit, he was basically just Lelouch again, to be honest. Which probably happens to like what the fuck is what is C2 called? Like, what is she?
She's a witch.
She's a witch. Basically,
Yes.
what witches are kind of like, I mean, C2 got some semblance of personality,
Yeah, that's
throughout the
one
show.
thing that I did like is that, like, C2 is essentially the main character of this, at least for the first half, and she
Yeah,
plays,
I
like
find that pretty cool.
because in Code Geass, obviously she's marketed as a main character, and she is in a lot of ways, but, like, also she's just sort of there in the background for a lot of it.
Yeah.
And in this, she definitely gets personality, even to the extent of like she's sort of a different person in a way, but like
Yeah.
also not.
For sure. She
They just
actually, like,
definitely,
really, like, cares for Lelouch probably more than she ever has before.
yeah, right. Um, One thing that I think was kind of weird is the way that they introduced Lelouch to other characters, because they wouldn't have just been like, "Hey, it's Lelouch, he's back."
"Oh, hey, Lelouch. Oh,
Yeah,
no, we thought you fucking
like
died, dude."
Cohen's
Like,
introduction to Lelouch, both when he's a zombie and when he actually gets his memory back. When he's a zombie, she's just like, "Oh man, he's back. I'm mad at C2
yeah.
now." And then when he comes back, she just like gives him a hug, starts crying, and breaks down for like 30 seconds, and then she's just back to normal.
Yeah, and then
And then people
Suzaku beats the shit out of
yeah,
him.
okay, I do like that. I do like the sequel, and it looks really good because like, Lelouch is just sort of there, and he's just sort of taking it, and Suzaku, like,
Yeah.
beating them like,
I
mercilessly
guess that's
beating
supposed to be
him.
kind of like a cathartic scene because, like, he's getting revenge for everything, for, like, Euphemia and shit, you
Yeah,
know?
um, and then but another thing that I guess I should be happy about this, but I wish they would have done more, is that, like, I'm happy that they brought back the characters, like, they brought back Jeremiah, and they brought back, Cornelia and Anya and
They
those sort of
brought back
people,
the
but,
whole
like,
cast, yeah.
they don't do anything with them.
They really don't, and I mean, that is a huge cast to try to,
Yeah.
like, juggle, but I agree, yeah, they all kinda just felt like, yeah, they were, like, pushed to the side.
Yeah, like, Jeremiah is one of my favorite characters in the original show, and he probably has a grand total of, like, 5 lines in this movie.
Yeah, and it makes me question why you would even include them if this entire thing's just gonna be let's say Kogias, Lelouch just, like, going to war with this person in the first place. I mean, what really is anyone else doing other than, like, Colin and
Yeah,
Suzaku, you
just, like,
know?
fighting people.
You could
I
cut
mean,
everyone like, you could cut Ogi, like, what does he do in this movie?
he's the sheriff. He
He
has
is
the
the
sheriff
sheriff, dude.
outfit.
He rolls up with the fucking
Yeah, put that
the
on screen.
katana.
He's like he rolls up with the
They got
star
some
and the
yeah.
Woody jacket.
Yeah,
Oh,
they've
okay.
got some classic Code Geass slice of life in here as well, you know?
They
Have to have a fucking party because it's not Code Geass without a fucking
Oh,
obligatory
right.
party, dude.
One thing that I do like about this movie is the new outfits, especially the new Zero outfit. It looks sick. Like, it looks
Oh, yeah.
really cool. It's just like
Yeah.
it's essentially like the original, Zero outfit and the original outfits for all the characters, but, like, they're more, like, Middle Eastern, sort of,
Yeah.
and, like,
Yeah.
even sort of Mexican vibes, which I'm not sure where that is, but, um, I mean,
Yeah,
I know
they
where
just
Mexico is, obviously, but,
yeah.
um,
They added a cool a few cool like new details to Zero's outfit and everything. And yeah,
yeah, he has,
looks
like,
cool.
the chains and and the jewels on him.
Hold on, what
He
the fuck
walks
did
around.
was Nunnally in this movie?
She is. So, she got
What does she do
captured with
again?
that's the reason why they're fighting. She doesn't do anything,
Oh, yeah, she
but
gets kidnapped again.
she gets
Great.
kidnapped, yeah, but, like, she doesn't do anything. She's just
I forgot
there,
she's the designated damsel in distress.
and she's like, "Lelouch, I'm sorry. I judged you too quickly despite the fact that you were intentionally an asshole to everybody because it was part of your
Yeah.
plan. But I
One thing
forgive you now."
yeah, one c yeah, you're right. It all happens too fast, like, honestly, why do we, like, keep Nunnally out of this? Like, we just need a few key characters here so that, like, it
Yeah,
doesn't feel weird when Lelouch meets any of these people that he's harmed and is, like, not having like, there's no emotional weight behind any of it. They're just like, "Oh, hi. How are
yeah.
you
I mean,
doing?"
it is a little bit fast paced, and obviously, this was a massive fan service movie. Not that I have any issue with that because I think it sort of works in this way.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
fan service movies are cool. I have no problem with them.
but they could have even extended the runtime a little bit. I know most anime movies, like, for some reason, don't like to go over 2 hours, but
Yeah.
um, this one was like even a little bit less than 2 hours, and I feel like they could have done a lot more.
About
You
it,
know,
yeah.
yeah, I like. I don't get me wrong. oh, love this movie. Like I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah.
But it's it it definitely was there like for the fans. Um,
Yeah, that's one of my criticisms of this movie is like this just honestly feels kind of like fluff at this point after the legendary ending of Code Geass. It's like, oh, and he's back now and he's a
yeah.
fucking witch. And
Well, I
it's
mean,
so there's not a lot of weight behind it obviously, but it's a neat thing for sure. Yeah.
I guess one thing to keep in mind about it is like we watched Code Geass, or at least I did. Like I literally watched Resurrection less than a week after I watched Code Geass, I think.
Yeah.
But like Code Geass finished in what 2008, and this movie came out in
Yeah, so
2019.
you're right. So it was a complete story for a little while, so it's obviously not that harmful to,
Yeah.
drop some fan service movies, I suppose, yeah.
Plus, I mean, there was already the theory that like the directors neither confirmed nor denied that Lelouch was still alive,
Yeah,
like in the
true.
original show. So I
Okay,
mean, I
yeah,
don't
it's
know.
also like, how are you gonna fucking not have Code Geass? How are you gonna have Code Geass without Lelouch, dude? Like
Right.
he almost carries it in some respects, but yeah.
Like Akito was fine, but it just
Yeah.
feels really weird. And he was even in it.
He was in
I
it.
mean,
That's they
like
had
in a
to
weird
include him
way,
and Suzaku
but
somehow.
yeah. And I mean,
And I did
you
like
know,
that though, not to disparage that.
yeah, no, I mean, I don't think that like it doesn't I think it works fine for what it's trying to be. Um,
Yeah.
and like I said, I love this movie. I watched it 3 times already.
Yeah.
Um, but
No.
all right, I'm back. I accidentally left. Um,
God.
hopefully he can still record and hear me.
No, no, no. It still records. Yeah.
Okay. Um, but no, yeah, I think it's I love the movie obviously, but it could be more, but also I'm not really complaining about what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of semi remake, but not remake, there's some new shit in it. Kind of movies that are based off an anime.
Yeah,
Finally
same.
happened. Happened, folks.
I remember not too long ago
Trailer.
breaking the news on the podcast. Like it was immediately like the first thing we talked about. It was like starting it off sad. Evangelion got delayed again,
Yeah.
but the day
Now
finally came.
it is tangible.
Yep.
To use a Persona 5 reference, this treasure is now finally physically tangible, and we can fucking take it.
Thanks, Morgana. Um,
Fuck Morgana, dude. Hold on,
dude,
y'all.
well, hold
Fuck
on, no, no,
Morgana.
no, no,
That
no,
bitch
no,
makes me go to fucking
no,
sleep every goddamn
no.
night when I don't
Morgana's
fucking. It's
cool.
like, really?
Morgana has a cool persona.
Yeah, but she makes me go to sleep every night, and it pisses me
No, she
off.
doesn't let you do
Or
anything.
not
She doesn't
she.
let
It's
you
I
have.
believe it's a he. Spoilers.
It's a
But
into a
yeah,
girl
fuck
cat.
that bitch.
Spoilers for
Anyways.
Persona 5, guys. I played 10 hours of it
Anyways.
last time I was at your house.
Yeah. And I have
Um,
proceeded to play almost 10 more since he has slept.
oh Jesus. Um, but no, yeah, the trailer for Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0, it came out finally, and
It was a
it's
sweet,
cool.
what was it like? Was it like 20, 30 seconds or something like that?
Yeah, I mean it's short, but like
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure everything in it is completely new,
Oh,
so
it's
that's cool. You get
content
to
for
see
sure.
the uh, the new plug suits powered by Razer RGB chroma. Um,
Hell yes.
we get to see someone's eye, probably Ray's.
Most
Uh,
likely, yeah.
we get to see the big ship flying around, and that's about it. It's
Yeah.
still
We see Shinji, is it Shinji, Ray, and Asuka walking on fucking train tracks and shit?
yeah. And
We
apparently
got
Ray
that.
is like nice now or something. It's sort of I guess like alluded to that Ray is just like not insecure about everything.
Yeah, you know what, and we even have the On the Next Episode song playing, and it's Ear Rape.
It is. Well, okay, I read
It's
somewhere that
very eerie.
apparently that's, like, intentional. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's like they're like, it's intentionally, like, distorted so that it gives it, like, this weird, eerie feeling. Um,
Yeah, I mean, that would kinda make sense, sure,
yeah, that's an
but
Evangelion
it
move.
didn't give me
One
a
thing
weird, eerie feeling, it, penetrated my ears,
yes. One thing that I do
if you
hope
will.
that they don't do is I really hope they don't go just like the like we were just talking about with Resurrection. I really don't hope they don't go with just, like, the brainless zombie route for Rey,
Oh, no, dude.
because
I want Rey to be a fucking character. I know that's not the intention with her character, but, like, we need to explore her. She has never been one of my favorites, and the reason why is because she's just fucking blank slate.
yeah, she
Again,
has
that is
no character.
intentional, and that's fine, but I can't I don't like her. Maybe I'm not meant to like her, though. I don't know.
Yeah, like, originally, when I was watching Evangelion, she was, like, best girl for me for a while. Obviously, the times have changed now, and I've come to my senses, but, um,
Obviously, he is, Asuka.
Asuka.
He has been,
I'm an Asuka
he
fanboy.
has gone to the Church of Asuka ever since.
True. But no, I mean, I hope they don't do that with her, and also, sh excuse me for saying this as an Evangelion fan, but I just hope that they just make it a happy ending. Is
Mm.
that wrong for me to say? I just you
That's not
know?
wrong. No, no, no. Okay, I don't think it's wrong for you to want any type of ending. A happy ending could be good. It could be bad. It's
Yeah,
I'm excited to see some new Evangelion content, baby, and I want to see if
I
Ano
know.
can pull all this shit together and actually like. I mean, he obviously won't let us know what the fuck's going on in this series.
Guys,
That's not what Ano does.
this
But
is
I
this is the
I at least
Japanese
want.
MCU.
Yeah, exactly. I I'm very excited for new content. That's partly why 3.33 was my favorite of the 3 was because it
Yeah.
was completely new. Regardless of whether I thought regardless of whether I actually thought 2.0 or 2.22 was better, uh I was just so excited to see new Evangelion content that I really love the third one.
You think that there will be because, all the Evangelion movies, they started out as 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, but then they got changed to 1.11, 2.22, 3.33. Do you think that
Yeah,
they're gonna change 3.0 plus 1.0 to 3.33 plus 1.11?
that would be fucking annoying.
And they're gonna well, because apparently they're like the 1.0 and the 1.11 and so on. Apparently those are 2 different versions and, like, there's a little bit of extra stuff added.
Is there an explanation why they do this shit? Why they do 3.33
I
and shit
know,
like that?
because they're edgy, and 3.3
It is
is
very
edgy.
edgy. I guess they do it for the exact same reason that they call it like "you are" parentheses "not alone." Like,
Probably, yeah. And I mean, like, it's a cool name.
yeah,
It's kinda weird that they have different versions, or so I've heard, but, whatever. I'm not complaining about more Evangelion, even if it's a few minutes.
yeah.
Um,
This
but
new one
no,
looks
overall
it already looks very visually appealing. It's gonna look
oh,
fucking
yeah.
fantastic like all of these movies have so far.
I
Is probably part of the appeal to it. Most people is it's not as 90s if you're not as much as into that 90s anime
right.
aesthetic.
It's definitely a lot, like, more modern and a lot newer. Um,
Out smoother,
and I
cleaner,
mean, I wonder how it
yes.
would've gone if this was released when it originally was supposed to back in, like, 2012, and then 2015, and then 2017,
Yeah.
and then 2019, and then 2020, and now 2021. Uh, would have had a million PlayStation
We've waited for a long time, folks. I mean, we've realistically only waited for about almost a
like,
year at this
9
point,
months,
but
but
the
yeah,
fan
I mean,
base has waited.
I feel bad for all the people who have been fans since, like, the original '90s show because they've had to wait so long for this. Um,
Yeah.
like,
They don't
literally
even
25 years. Well, I mean,
they don't even make like video games anymore, so they can't even like sink their teeth into that shit. They just have to wait for these fucking
yeah.
movies.
Like, I'm surprised that they're not making video games anymore because Evangelion, I'm pretty sure I read on, like, the Wikipedia page, it's like one of the biggest franchises of all time in Japan.
Yeah,
Like, it's made
there's got to be
millions.
some reason for that.
I think it's just because it's, like, an older anime and they're it's like, man, there's better stuff nowadays.
Yeah, your
You
fish
guys
to fry.
seen
But
Boku
yeah,
no
like
Pico?
that is a very good point. Like there is there like a legal reason we don't see Evangelion
Yeah,
video games anymore? Like, because I feel like that shit. I mean, I feel like it would sell at least not too much, obviously, but I mean, at
yeah.
least to the niche audience that enjoys it at this point.
I'm sure they would probably still be making a ton of money. Um,
Yeah.
is it just all like you have to factor in the production value or the production costs?
Who knows? Maybe Anno doesn't want to be as he doesn't want his franchise to be as freeform in terms of its perception, and he wants it to be this the movie's coming out at this point and we're not putting out any other shit that like kind of
Yeah,
taints the view of the franchise and like ooh Ray is actually a very cute schoolgirl, even though I mean yeah he did portray her as that at one point,
yeah.
but that's not the point I'm making. But
I mean, he's leaving, allegedly leaving after this movie, or not alleged, supposedly leaving after this movie.
that makes
Um,
sense, that
or
makes
maybe he just
sense.
wants it to be like exclusively the movie, and that's the franchise.
Yeah.
But no, I have high hopes for this movie, and honestly, I hope
Me
it's a really
too.
like this is such a like I know I'm speaking as if I've been watching this show since it came out. I mean, obviously I haven't, but like this has been such like a legendary franchise in both Japan and the US, um, and the world in general. So I really hope that they give it like the ending that it deserves, and don't
Oh
screw
yeah.
it up. And you know what? Honestly, I wouldn't even mind if like they brought it back after this in some form or fashion. Um, like
Yeah, I mean,
I know
I
a lot of
wouldn't.
people.
I would actually kind of. It would not obviously have the same flavor, and maybe it would even be an empty shell of what it used to be. But some sort of anime series remake, I think, would even be kind of interesting and cool. And
Yeah,
fuck it. I just want more Evangelion. Okay, I don't want this shit to end. Okay,
yeah,
this is
it's
great.
really good.
Okay, I don't want to lose this. I can't afford to lose this in my life. Okay,
Um, but no, I hope this movie
so
is
moving on.
is good. Yeah, you still there?
Yeah. So continuing on
Oh,
our
there we go.
anime grind, we got we got something that we actually I'm pretty sure we watched all the way through together. We got Konosuba season
Finally,
2
finally,
and
boys.
the film, but we'll start with season 2.
I finally got Julius to watch it. By I got Julius to watch it, I mean Julius watched it. Um,
uh
it's been long
he's
awaited on the podcast.
season 2. I liked it. It was good. I had some
Yeah,
funny
there's not a
haha
whole lot to talk
moments.
about when it comes. I mean,
I mean really no. It definitely seemed like there were I did like this one a little more with some of the new characters it introduced and some of the arcs that
I
it
think
went
so.
on.
Yeah,
Like I really did enjoy that final arc where they go on vacation. I love that shit.
yeah. I think that like there's a lot like more funny moments in this, but there's also like wholesome moments. And
Yeah,
because
wholesome
like
100.
I think that this sort of just comes with the territory of having a first season. Like the first few episodes, it's sort of hard for people to get super invested in, because
Yeah,
it's
because
setting it
it's
up.
not really yeah, it's
And
not a like overarching super important like fucking story that it's putting forward. I mean the
right,
characters don't even necessarily take it seriously, going to beat the fucking Devil King. Like they're just living
yeah,
life.
yeah. But I mean, like by the time season two rolls around, it's like okay, I already know what's happening. And also one part that I do like, they hint at it at the end of season one, I'm pretty sure, but it just starts in Cosmo's just like in jail. It
Yep.
starts in Cosmo's arrested, and
He
that's
has
how
like
the
he
season
goes on
starts.
trial. I thought that whole
Yeah,
bit
the
was pretty
trial
funny.
arc.
That
Yeah.
whole bit was pretty
And
funny.
then Darkness is gone for a while, and then she comes back,
Yeah,
and yeah, it's just
she
it's good
has
stuff.
yeah, it was season 2 where she has to like marry someone or some shit, or she has to like marry a fucking suitor.
Yeah, she has to marry a rich guy so that she can use her
Yeah,
name so that Kazuma doesn't go to
Thought that
jail.
whole
And that
yeah.
one part that I do like about it is they make a self-conscious joke in the movie where, God, what's his name? Von Ear, I think it is?
Yeah.
The mask guy. He's, like, making fun of everybody when, he meets them in Wiz's shop, and when he gets to Darkness, he's like, "And the girl who hasn't done anything yet so far other than use her family name to get her friends out of situations." And,
Yeah, that was I really like Von Ear. I
yeah. Oh my
just
god, I love him.
he's
He's
got a lot of cool quirks, and I like his character in general.
he's sort of the high-pitched pseudo-British accent voice guy,
Yeah.
but also he does something.
Yeah, he does.
So
He's
but
actually
also
pretty
not
useful in
really.
battle by the
But
movie.
yeah, no, I do like how, I guess, yeah, we've said all the, I guess,
Honestly, yeah.
there's to say about the second
Okay,
season, but
I will say Konosuba's like fucking climaxes, like the very last episode of season 2
oh my god,
was
they're
pretty
great.
amazing. Like
Like,
it was genuinely like exhilarating, and like the visuals were amazing. Like
yeah, the
they do a really
animation,
good job when they actually try to sell the dramatic action of a scene.
yeah, like, that's one of the points where it takes itself seriously, like, one of the few points
Yeah,
where it does. And it's like, yeah, the animation and the sound, like you said, is, like, dialed to 11, and
yeah, really amazing.
no, it
Yeah,
sounds
that was
great
season
and
2,
looks
and
great.
then you have the movie, which is honestly it's the best thing to come
It's
out
the
of
best Konosuba
Konosuba
thing to
so
come out,
far.
yeah. Yeah, I
Um,
really like the movie.
I will say I
So
like after season 2 and this movie, I like Megumi and Kazuma's relationship. I mean,
yeah,
they do have a distinct age gap, but I'm just trying to look at it through the story
it's
lens.
eh, it's an
Their
isekai.
relationship is cute, and I like it, and I like her more now after seeing her family and shit.
Yeah,
Um,
I think the family thing was really funny. How,
yeah, that whole
they know that he's rich, so they try and get them to sleep together.
yeah, and I was genuinely interested in actually going to what is it called, like the Crimson Village or some shit. Like
Yeah, the
I thought that
Crimson Demon
entire village
Village.
was pretty cool, and how like the entire village is just full of fucking overpowered people, like just murdering the Devil King
Yeah.
army. Well, the
Well,
village they live in would like have trouble even dealing with an army. I love it.
one thing that I didn't expect is how they explained the origin, and it's that guy who made, like,
Yeah,
the giant spider from the 1st season. He just,
yeah,
like he modified humans so that they're just, like, super overpowered and, like, insane.
yeah. That
The
was a really cool piece of world building.
No, they're all funny. I think, uh, the villain who's a trap is funny. Um, yeah, it's just, like it's funny, and I think it's but also there's a lot more serious parts in it, which obviously, in a comedy show, you wouldn't expect to like the serious parts,
Yeah.
but in Konosuba, I definitely do. Um, like, it
Oh
explains
yeah, like the final climax is obviously very cool as well, where Union has a bigger role than she ever has had before.
oh my god,
And I thought all that shit was cool.
the final climax of the movie is, like, probably my favorite part of all of Konosuba.
It's peak Konosuba
Like,
for
it's
sure.
really good,
Because
and
you
it
have that
looks
emotional
insane.
investment, and you're also kind of laughing at like the shit Kazuma's doing, and you get a
Yeah.
good like mix of action, drama, and comedy. And it is a
Yeah.
culmination of or kind of arc that's been happening with Megumin, and we finally get to learn her backstory, and that was actually genuinely interesting.
Yeah.
Not something you see too much in Konosuba, so that was really cool.
Yeah. No, but I think the movie was, obviously it's hilarious and,
Yeah,
but it's a good blend of, like, seriousness and then the comedy.
yeah, and
And obviously it looks great, it
I'm
sounds
ready to
great.
watch season 3. I'm prepared
You know what? I'm ready for the fucking dub. No, I'm just kidding.
of the movie.
Okay, here's the thing. So the dub of the movie had to be put on hold just because of, the coronavirus, and they were, I think, in the middle of dubbing it. Hopefully it comes
Yeah.
back because I think anime's sort of um gotten back on track, but I guess since the dubbing is done here in America, I don't know how much they can do. But um I think the Konosuba is one of the shows that, like, even especially for a comedy, because most of the time comedy in anime, like, a lot of the time it's dialogue based. And,
Yeah.
I mean, that's no different with Konosuba because it definitely is dialogue based with, um, you know, Cosma calling Aqua, like, a cocksucker, whatever he does. And Sub, I mean, it's sort of dialed down, um, and Dub a little bit, but, uh, like, it's one of the shows that I, honest to God, don't mind, like, watching Sub or Dub.
Yeah, because
Um,
they both kind of I mean, the voice actors in both versions are pretty great, and they both have their own
yeah,
deliveries, which I find like pretty funny. And yeah, Caden was saying this, and I agree with it. Konosuba is definitely something where you should probably watch the anime over the light novel because, like, like the production of the anime just adds so much from the animation to like the fucking random Konosubas that they do that just kind of add a little bit
yeah,
of flavor to the whole thing. The anime is
it's
definitely worth watching.
it's definitely a visual experience,
Yeah,
and I think it'd be hard to get the same, reaction and emotion,
yeah,
if you're reading it. I haven't read, the light novel or the manga. I'm pretty sure there's a manga now, but, um, I think it'd just be hard, like, thinking about it conceptually, to read it instead of watching it.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's
It's
great.
it's
It's
good.
all good.
I like Konosuba so far. I'm not planning on dropping it anytime soon, so
Yeah.
it's done a pretty good job.
Yeah, it's a funny show.
So continuing on our actually
The
fucking know
anime
what? I don't think we have
quest.
any topic that's not anime this week.
Welcome back to the Misfortune Podcast, boys. We're here. We're talking about anime.
Yeah, pretty much. So next we got a little bit more of an obscure anime, if
We
you
got an
will. We
obscure
got
topic, baby.
Tokyo Babylon, two-part OVA.
So, one thing that I find funny about this show is before, like, a few weeks ago, I had never heard of this before. And
Yeah,
then, like, a week after I find out about it, a remake is announced.
hell
And they're
yes.
remaking it. It's called Tokyo Babylon 2021 as of right now.
All these
And it's
fresh
so weird.
franchises ripe for the picking.
It's so strange. Like,
It's
they
it's
just
it's
decided to remake it.
I'm excited for it to happen though because so Tokyo Babylon is split into two parts. I find the
Yes.
first part to be actually pretty like decent. I really like it,
Yeah.
and the second one I don't like.
Yeah. I mean,
um,
I don't mind either of the parts. Um,
yeah. Well, I like the first one more so because of the sort of intriguing aspect of there's this fucking guy who's always there when accidents
yeah.
happen. There's some fucking curse witchery going on, and I think Subaru's a good vehicle to introduce us to all this shit. I think, and I even like some of the shit with him at home. With his sister and his and
Yes.
Seishiro. Uh, Seishiro is very obviously. I love Seishiro, dude. He's just especially in the first one because so yeah, basically I'm not even gonna explain it. There's this big fucking fight at the end
Yeah.
with this guy who
It's
keeps on appearing in accidents,
it's a
um, or like almost it looks like he's causing accidents
yeah.
in it.
Well, I
Turns out he
think
does. I mean, no,
the way that it's sort of explained is like there are certain people born with spirits that protect them from curses or whatever.
yeah,
But in doing so, the spirits deflect the curses onto people around them.
yeah. So basically, yeah, he has extremely cursed energy
Yeah.
and deflects it onto other people. Um, it manifests in this kind of like aura, and he has powers and shit. And it's at the end there's like a fight on this construction site between Subaru and Subaru being the main character and this guy, and it's really like fucking
They're
cool
just, like,
and
shooting
like
birds of light
visually
at each other.
appealing. Bro, especially when Seishiro shows up. When
Yeah,
Seishiro shows up, that
that's
shit
legit.
is that was my favorite part of the whole thing, dude.
So, um, guess I'll only say this about X now before I talk about it, but,
Yeah.
um, I you wouldn't like Seishido in X, let me say that.
Why is that?
Well, it's number 1. I'm on episode like 12, and
Yeah.
you see him like once, and
Fuck.
it's revealed that he was a bad guy,
That kind of
and
makes sense, to be
he was
honest.
sent to kill Subaru and his sister.
Oh.
Yes,
Oh.
so that's the thing. But a topic for later. Um, no, I think that it's definitely like a really interesting thing. Like, because you're sort of dropped into this world with like no explanation. And
Yeah, yeah, it's like he's just explained to be a medium, and he's going to help out this construction site, and then all this shit goes down, and you're just supposed to, yeah, take it at face value. I like that there's a nice detective character who's all the whole rational guy who's like,
yeah,
I don't believe in this bullshit. Like,
magic isn't real. Um, yeah, no, I mean, like most of the time, I don't like shows that just sort of drop you into the middle, and you're like, okay, here's what's happening.
yeah,
Um, but this is an exception to that. I think, like for the first time, this is one of the times where like I don't really mind because it's. I mean, like even though you're dropped in, you sort of figure out on your own. Like Subaru is the head of this family who they're sort of like uh, fucking wizards.
yeah,
Um,
it's basically psychic wizards.
Yeah, they're like psychics who they're sort of like, they deal with spirits and stuff, like, sort of um, I'm trying to think of the word. The guys who come in and they're like exorcists,
Exorcist, yeah,
essentially, but like spiritual exorcists, sort of. And so it's this guy who's coming in to deal with the situation who people believe has to do with like spirits, which it's found out that it does. And then the ending is of at least of the first episode. It's like sort of Akira-esque, where
dude, you got fucking like
this
just
basically
body parts. Oh, can't even
basically this
explain it.
girl sacrifices her dog to do a spell against this guy because he killed her brother, and she's mad, so she wants to kill him.
Yeah,
Uh, so she sacrifices her dog, and then her dog's spirit gets out. And speaking of the dog, I have something to tell you later. But the
oh
dog's spirit gets out, and it like latches onto this guy and makes him just
yeah,
like power corrupt essentially, and he can't control himself. And then he tries to kill Subaru. I think he like actually almost does, but then Seishido shows up
yep.
and just destroys that. He
It's
obliterates this
great.
guy.
It's
Like
great. It's
he
great.
sends just like this bird of light on him, and he's just like just destroys him.
Yeah, and that entire part was
Yeah,
just really fucking cool, and I wasn't expecting it to be that cool, to be honest.
yeah, no, it's
Then you
great.
move on to the second part, which is like it it,
Julius
it
doesn't
it
like.
reveals another facet of this power, or another way that this power can manifest, and it's post cognition, which you can like touch a
Yes,
fucking object and see everything, or see something that happened in the past.
but you can't see the future. Yeah.
But you cannot see the future, so it's
Yes. So you can only act on what's happened in the past, but you can act on
exactly.
when I see it.
That was pretty cool, but I mean, overall, it was just kind of a flop for me. It's like, oh, who is this killer? And like, it's a killer,
They're
and
chasing a serial killer. I mean, one
like
thing that sort of did get me, so I will admit that the first episode is definitely superior to this one, but one thing that sort of did
yeah,
get me is I was expecting like the killer to be revealed as a character that we already knew. It's just some
yeah,
guy. It's
like the
just a guy.
fucking concrete guy who came off like fucking serial killer central, bro.
It's
Come
not
on,
the
guys,
concrete guy.
come to my house and look at my concrete collection.
I'll tell you right now, Julius, that was not the concrete guy.
Yeah, no, for sure, it was not. Uh,
No, I mean it's just like some guy because the concrete guy comes back in X.
yeah, he does, and he like does something. He like it's like,
Yeah,
hey, get away from her. So I don't even remember what he fucking does.
yeah. But no, I mean like the serial killer is just some random dude. Like,
Just some fucking rando who kills you. You
yeah,
die, and that's it. As killers
yeah.
do.
But I mean, you know, I just- I honestly, I didn't expect a whole lot of the show going into it. I mean, I was, delightfully surprised.
Yeah.
Um, and it had like a really interesting premise and like the serial killer thing, I guess, in the second part. Well, he's sort of a serial killer in the first episode too. That other guy. Um,
Yeah, yeah, he pretty much is. Just yeah, doesn't straight up go up to you on the fucking subway and yeah, murder you.
yeah, he'll just like th- throw. One thing that I did think was interesting in that is like one of the ways that he killed one of the guys. He like took him and he jumped off a building with him. And it's
Yeah.
he landed like 3 stories below, but he just wasn't hurt. But then the other
And
guy
he goes like, "Stop spreading
died.
wild rumors."
Yeah, precisely. Yeah, he jumps and he screams, "Stop spraying wild." I
Yeah.
need that. I need that clip. We gotta play that clip in
Yes.
this. Um,
And even in the second part, like even the Seishiro like appearance in the second part isn't really cool. He just kind of like he kills the guy and then he does like one thing before when they're having that like kind of struggle down in the sewer after that guy
he's sort
falls in the
of
sewer water.
he's sort of that character who he's played off as like, "Hey, I'm the innocent guy," but then, like,
Yeah.
he comes in when the main characters aren't looking and, like, does something really suspicious.
Yeah.
And, like, he comes in, he'll just, like, kill all these bad guys, and he's like, "Yep."
One of the cool parts to me was actually Seishiro and Subaru like fucking meeting and
Yeah,
I
they're
don't know if they were
gay.
meeting or like he just made this fucking contract with him. He's like, "We'll never allow you to feel any pain" or some shit like that. And Subaru's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? What?
Like,
What?
what are you saying?
I don't
No,
understand."
that's one thing that I did think was interesting and is that Subaru's gay, apparently. Like,
Yeah, I was just reading
and
the Wikipedia summary and yeah,
yeah, like, Subaru's gay, and he likes Seishido,
yeah.
and his sister
Like, can you
Hokuto
blame a
and
man?
Seishido both know this. I mean, I can't. His sister and Seishido
He's a
both know
unit, dude.
he's massive, but they both know this, and Hokuto makes fun of him for it,
Yeah, like you're
and
gay.
Seishido just doesn't care. Like, he's just like, "Yeah, he likes me. I'm not gay, but he
I mean,
likes me."
so with that, we can move from Tokyo Babylon into you're halfway through X.
Oh, yes.
What are your
Oh,
thoughts so far?
this show's wacky. Let me tell you, this show's crazy.
It's real
So I'll tell
wacky.
you the basic plot of it. If you think that you were just thrown in with no explanation to Tokyo Babylon, oh boy, are you gonna be surprised when you watch this show.
Oh boy.
You're told nothing. You're told nothing. I mean, if you didn't watch Tokyo Babylon and you didn't know what this world was, you'd be
Oh
so
fuck.
confused because l- we've moved past just like throwing birds of light at people. Um, okay, so I guess backstory. Tokyo Babylon takes place in 1992 when it was made, I assume. Um, and X takes place in 1999. Um, and so basically the plot is, and you don't, you like gradually find this out throughout the
Yeah.
show, but the plot is that like essentially, um, it's predetermined by these fortune tellers who has they had the precognition powers that one day there will be seven, what they're called, seven, uh I think it's seven dragons of earth and seven dragons of heaven. And the
Holy
dragons of
shit.
earth are people who essentially they mean to destroy the world and just kill everyone, for reasons
The
unknown.
heaven are the good ones
And
because
the
they go
dragons
to
of heaven
heaven.
are the ones that they want to save the earth and keep people. Um, and so
It's
these
fucking shitty for
people,
the dragons of Earth to want to destroy Earth, dude. Like,
yeah, that sucks.
fucked up.
But basically, it's this main character. It's this kid named Kamui. And he was uh, basically his powers are just Tetsuo from Akira.
Oh,
He's just like
nice.
he has psychic powers, and he just throws stuff with his
Are they as
mind, and
cool as Telos?
yeah, because he does cool stuff with it.
Oh, hell yeah.
But one thing I think is really interesting is that he's an asshole. He's just the
Oh?
biggest of all time. Like, so he left Tokyo for a while, and his mom had died, and she had told him the last thing that she told him was go back to Tokyo, get the Shinken, I think it's called. I might be saying that wrong, but I think it's the Shinken, and it's the sword essentially. Um, and I still don't even know what the sword's deal is, but everybody's trying to
Yeah.
get this sword. And so it's predetermined that these 7 people will become the dragons of Earth, and these 7 people will become the dragons of Heaven. And so the dragons of Heaven, one by one, start assembling um, in Tokyo. Uh, and I think it's really cool because it introduces past characters. So Subaru, he's a dragon of Heaven. Um,
Oh yeah.
but at this
Love
time, so
Subaru.
they changed the voice actors, and he's edgy now. He
Oh.
just
Oh
walks around
shit.
like with no
Yeah,
shirt. He smokes all the time.
before he was like, "Oh, my name's Subaru. I'm gonna get the shit beaten out of me by
No, he
some
has a low
guy."
voice. He's
Oh,
he's edgy.
damn. Lots changed, huh?
He's a badass, like, with, the powers that he has and stuff. So he's one, and then so basically it starts out with, um, Kamui, the main character. He goes back to Tokyo, and the first dragon of, heaven that he meets is this kid, Sorata. Sorata, and he's been sent, by one of the people with precognition, one of the, like, f future guys, to protect Kamui with his life. And then one by one, Kamui starts meeting all of the dragons of heaven. And then, but in the meantime, the dragons of earth are also assembling. And so it's this really interesting story of these people who, it deals with the theme of like predetermined destinies and that sort of thing. But the thing is,
Oh yeah. That makes
all
sense.
of the fortune tellers who can see the future, they can see all of the dragons and all of the dragons of earth and all the dragons of heaven but one. And essentially every time they look into the future, they see two different versions of Kamui. One where he chooses the dragons of earth, or one where he chooses the dragons of heaven.
Ooh, which one's it
And
gonna be,
so it's
Kamui?
essentially it's a thing where if he chooses the dragons of earth, then the world will be destroyed. Like I showed you in the opening. That's essentially what it looks like.
Yeah.
And then if he chooses the dragons of heaven, then the world will, prosper. And it's this really interesting thing
That I or Sith,
of
bud.
yeah. Um and it's this really interesting thing of these people who they all have predetermined fates, and they're like sort of slowly encountering each other, and the opposite sides sort of clashing with all these fortune tellers on both sides and people with different powers and this sort of shit. And so
Very
far,
fine. There's very fine people on both sides of the dragons. Okay.
yeah. And so Seishido is a dragon of Earth. He's a bad guy now. So, do you mind if I spoil this? Were you planning on watching this? It's
You
not
can
really
go
that
ahead.
big of
You can go ahead.
a spoiler. Basically, Seishido has killed Hokuto, Subaru's sister.
Wow, that's
And
actually pretty
so,
cool.
yeah, no, it's awesome.
Because she's supposed to be like, I feel like she would very much be a character in like any other anime where she'd be like, like fucking invincible and wouldn't die and would be one of the
Yeah, and wouldn't
consistent
die.
characters that sticks throughout the show. So shit, that's actually kind
No,
of an interesting decision.
he kills her. Actually, there's an OVA, which is also a prequel. It's called just like X OVA or something. And
Yeah,
he killed her in the OVA.
a
And so
bitch.
that's why Subaru, hates him now. And it's really cool because now like Subaru and Seishido are like even more powerful. Um, and it's just all these people who are slowly starting to encounter each other, but they haven't actually like been in one room. I think the most that have been in one room in terms of the Dragons of Heaven are like 3, if you're counting
Okay,
Kamui.
okay, you're selling me on
Um,
this show so far.
no, it's interesting. So it's a little bit slow and it's a little bit boring. And since I'm watching the dub and the show came out in like 2001, it's a 2001 dub.
2001
All right.
quality dub. Yeah,
Like, it's not like ghost stories or anything, but
yeah.
it's also not like anything incredible. But it's it's an interesting show, and it deals with, a lot of magic. And one thing that I have sort of has caught the attention of mine is that like it it's one of those shows where sometimes one character will get their own episode, and this has happened a few times now. Um, so like, this character will get his own episode, and then a few episodes later, this character will. Um, and so, it's all these sorts of different people, and like, um, the first dragon that Kamui obviously is like this sort of like he doesn't say anything, he just beats people up sort of character. And then
Nice.
Sorata, the guy who he's introduced, he's sort of like he's the wisecrack kind of guy. He just makes the jokes and he's the funny guy. But when he gets serious, he goes like insane.
Oh
Um,
shit.
and
Fuck with
there's
that guy.
oh, okay. Speaking of,
Crack a
I was going to
joke
tell you
and
about the
crack your
dog.
ass.
So one of these characters, her name is, I'm trying to remember what her name is. I don't know. I can't remember her name. But um one of these characters, it's like a schoolgirl. Yuzuriha. Yuzuriha is her name. It's like a schoolgirl, and she has a dog, and it's the dog from uh Tokyo Babylon.
Oh,
And but the thing with this dog is nobody can see it but her.
okay. I was about to
Everybody to
say.
everybody else, it's just invisible, and it hasn't been
Yeah.
explained yet. And I'm just waiting for them to explain it. They better not just like never talk about it. But
It's just yeah. The
basically,
dog
the
is back.
backstory behind it is one of the fortune teller, like the precognition people, told Yuzuriha, it's like this dog was specifically born for you, so that's why only you can see it, and that's the only explanation they've given. But it's the same dog,
That makes
and I want
sense in a world of predetermined fate and shit.
yeah. But no, it's an interesting show. It's definitely weird, and it's it's a little bit slow at times, but it's definitely very interesting too. Um,
Yeah.
and it's like I said, it has a lot to do with like the predetermined fates and like there are people behind the scenes pulling the strings and they really know what's going on. But no, yeah, I like it so far.
Alright,
It's very interesting.
alright, alright. So you
Oh
are
man,
something
My
else.
Chrome browser.
You
Open my
watched
Chrome
uh
browser in Top Gear erase me.
you watched a film by someone named
Hmm.
Koto Shinkai.
Makoto Shinkai. Yes, I did. I forgot about
Who's
this.
actually named after the best waifu in Persona. Do you know
Actually named after Makoto Kusanagi, Ghost in the Shell.
that?
So do you know what I watched? Have you looked at my mail?
It had I don't know what the actual like English title is, but it had like a bunch of fucking trees and shit on it. So
It
of
does.
greenery.
So I watched The Garden of Words,
Yeah, that's what it's
by
called. I remember hearing
Makoto
that title
Shinkai.
once.
And this is, I think it's one of his popular ones before obviously, he made Your Name and that's what he's known for
Yeah.
now. Um, I think disregarding Your Name and Weathering with You, there is 7 centimeters per second, and then Garden of Words.
Yeah.
But this movie obviously it's really good. This was, I think it's the last thing he made before Your Name. It came out in 2013. It's on
Visually
Netflix.
amazing, right? Oh shit,
Oh
I didn't
yeah,
know that.
incredible. Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Garden of
It's
Words.
only 47 minutes or something like that. So it's a short one. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's visually incredible. And basically the story behind this one is it's this high school kid, he's like 15 or something, and he makes a pact on himself that every time it rains in the morning, he's going to skip his first period.
Damn.
Um And so he goes to the park, and one day he meets this older woman, um, and he doesn't know how old she is. And one day he sits down, and they don't really say anything to each other. And then he comes back the next day, and she's there again. And slowly they start talking to each other and, forming a relationship. And they start knowing each other really well. And basically, the story is it's this girl, and she's like a major alcoholic, like Misato level alcoholic.
Yeah.
And
Misato level threat.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. and so it's this older girl, and I think she's 27. Um, and her life isn't going so well. She's skipping work a lot so she can just go and sit at this park.
It's
And then
kind of
it's this.
that's kind of a theme with Shinkai. He has a lot of these
Oh yeah,
characters that like skip out on, uh
yeah,
procedural life and kind of just escape for a little while.
yeah, for sure. Um, and then it's this boy who he wants to become a shoemaker. Um, And I mean, yeah, I mean, without trying to spoil anything for you, because there is obviously, with the Shinkai movie, there are spoilers to be had.
Yeah.
But it's about this boy and this girl who obviously there's a massive age gap. Or not massive, but an age gap nonetheless. I mean, if you're 14 and you're starting a relationship with a 27-year-old, that is pretty massive age gap. Um,
Yeah.
but it's these two people who they start to like each other, but there's some issues. And
Forbidden.
obviously, yeah, this is another thing where like Weathering with You, they use the rain as like a plot device. Um, where like rain is supposed to resemble loneliness, but also happiness in the fact that they can see each other.
Yeah.
Um, and then
Come together
obviously,
in their loneliness. It's
yeah,
beautiful.
obviously visually stunning. Because with the rain and everything, uh, that they definitely take the time to make that look really good. And then one thing that I did think was interesting was, so before, at least I don't know about you, I thought it was only Your Name and Weathering with You that were connected. But apparently this girl is Mitsuha's teacher in Your Name. So it's a little cameo.
The Makoto cinematic
Yeah,
universe,
they're
baby.
making little cameos in all of
MCU.
each other's movies. Yeah.
And it works.
Um
You know what? It works because
they don't do anything, they're just
I
there.
don't really, yeah, it's not anything that
I don't mind.
contradicts like
Yeah,
fucking
like the timeline or whatever.
yeah.
Um, but no, yeah, I mean, obviously this is a beautiful movie, and if it's similar to Your Name and Weathering with You, obviously, in that it's like a boy and a girl, and they like each other, and that's the thing. Um,
That's the thing, baby.
but it's different in that there's an age gap here, and also other stuff that I can't talk about without spoiling. Um, but no, it's a great movie. It's beautiful. The sound, obviously. One thing that I did like about the soundtrack is there's none of your your Radwimps soundtrack where it's like there's like your J-pop, and then there's your alternative music, and then there's the soft music. All like
That's all right. I didn't need
no.
any more rad wimps anyways.
Yeah, I can even. Yeah, I'm done with them. But um, uh, no, I fucking love their music. They're so good. But it's
Voice
all.
makes me want to die, but yeah, it's pretty cool
Yeah.
sometimes.
It's all like piano music with no words.
Oh,
Um,
yay. We don't get
which
any of that. Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is there a Makoto montage?
there is. There
Yes.
is a Makoto montage. But it's
Love me
different.
some Makoto
Weird
montages.
without it feels weird without Radwimps.
That fucking Radwimps banging in the
I mean,
background.
but no, there is a Makoto montage. Um, it's a little bit shorter than in previous movies, but no, but I mean this movie it's great, obviously. I think I gave it like a 9 out of 10. Um,
I could give it a watch. Point,
yeah,
yeah.
it's great. I mean, if you ever have free time, I wanted to start getting into Shinkai's movies because apparently all of his movies. I didn't realize this because I watched 7 meters per second like a year ago, but I don't remember anything about it because I just had it on the background. I wasn't watching it at all, so I need to
Yeah.
rewatch it. But I remember that movie's also only like an hour, and this is a little under an hour. And then he also made a movie called Voices of a Distant Star,
Oh yeah, I
um,
heard about that one
which
too.
that one's a little bit different because it's like in space in the future. Um, but that's only like 30 minutes. Um, so yeah, he's made like a lot of short movies. So I sort of wanted to start getting into his movies.
Yeah.
Because before his first movie for me was Your Name, but I know that he makes really spectacular stuff. So,
Yeah.
but no, um, yeah, it was good shit. It was a good movie.
We also watched another. We watched another anime film
Did we?
together. We watched Akira, baby. We rewatched
Oh,
it,
I forgot about this.
and I loved
We
it.
did.
I probably
We
loved
were
it more than
supposed to
I
watch
ever have
Fast.
before.
We're supposed to watch Fast again, but that got
Yeah,
delayed. But
and we were like, hell yeah, baby, Akira time.
yeah, so Julius has the Blu-ray of Akira, the lucky
Yeah,
bastard.
we
Uh,
watched the dub. We watched the dub, the most recent dub,
yeah,
not
so
the shitty one.
it was oh, don't call that shitty. The original dub is a masterpiece. Um
We're actually cousins, but actually,
that video is really funny, but
it is
um
good to have the a shitty dub though. You know, it's a
yeah,
nice.
it's
It's
funny.
just
And that's
nice
what I
to
watched first.
it's nice to fucking see like American people try to translate just
Yeah, back in like
Japanese
the
film into
90s.
something that is utterly subverted and just the
Yeah.
tone is destroyed.
Yeah,
But
but
the more recent dub does a pretty good job. Um it is a little jarring to hear Johnny Young Bosch playing Kaneda
yes,
because he
Lelouch's voice
is
actor.
Lelouch. And I almost feel like he wasn't even like the right cast. I think he did a good
No, it
job,
was a little
obviously,
bit
but he
weird.
just didn't really feel like Kaneda to me, you know?
Yeah, like, honest to God, the original Canada isn't that bad, like, dub-wise. Um,
What the fuck does he say about Tetsuo? He's like, but it's all just garbage or some shit
yeah,
like
he's like, "Look at you, you're king of the mountain, but it's all garbage."
he
And he has,
sounds
like,
like
the
a fucking
pseudo New York
abridged voice
accent.
actor, dude.
I know, he does. It's just an
Like
abridge.
just an over the top caricature.
Yeah.
So many things are improved upon in this new dub. Like
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
one psychic kid from the beginning isn't going fucking every five
Yeah,
goddamn
he actually
seconds.
speaks.
Well, and yeah, he
He doesn't
speaks
speak, he's just
and
silent.
yeah, and I like how they make him silent in the beginning, and he has like this kind of silent terror on his face as that guy's fucking gunned down in the streets because that is a disturbing moment. And so, I mean,
You have
this
the
movie's
funny
just
dub and the serious dub,
yeah.
essentially.
This movie is just
It's good. It's a good
it
movie.
really I really feel like I kind of got it this time around in terms of the themes and shit. You know, like how fucking the government literally take children and like
Yeah,
throw their lives away for making them become essentially weapons and like
right.
how this cycle of violence kind of imparts all of this shit onto the future generations, you know, with the fucking how they go to this shitty ass school and don't like literally will fucking leave
Yeah,
in the middle of class. Like they don't give a shit. I
yeah,
thought it was a very good I thought it was a pretty good commentary. I still don't get all the shit, but it's honestly probably all in service of the fucking themes more so than
right. As
creating
per
a
the,
super straightforward plot, you know.
as per the Cadence standards, I was half falling asleep towards the end.
The
Like,
cadence
every time.
standard.
And it's not because the movie is boring, it's because
Yeah.
I'm so tired. Every
Yeah.
single time I've watched Akira, I'm, like, falling asleep at the end. And like, that's the last movie I'd ever fall asleep in, just because the
Yeah.
ending is insane.
Yeah, it really is.
But
It's
every
great.
time I watch Akira, I'm, like, half asleep at the end. I'm like, "I have to go to sleep, but I have to stay up."
It'll probably be the same with Innocence if you tried to watch it again.
Yeah, no, with Innocence, I literally my eyes were falling at the end of that movie. But I
Uh,
genuinely don't remember that movie at all. But, um, no, I mean, obviously, this movie it's widely regarded as a masterpiece and
yeah, I
a
love it.
cinematic marvel for the times.
I love that shit, man.
It's a good movie. It's a good little
This
movie.
is this is a good film. Uh, we're really I don't even think we have that much else to talk about.
Yeah, no, we've only been recording for, like, an hour, but,
Yeah. Um,
it's gonna be sho I mean, I don't know if you wanted to talk about because you started watching some shows, didn't you?
yeah. Oh wait. I'm gonna say something first. For
Mm,
all you and you're probably not listening, but for any My Hero Academia fans, Hayden
All
is
right.
joining the cult.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go,
So
he is joining the
basically,
cult.
Julius and I have been having an ongoing debate over the fact that, uh, despite the fact that I haven't really watched any like really shonen shows,
Yeah.
um, I hate the concept of shonen. Even though Death Note and Evangelion are shonen or whatever.
He is racist towards shonen. He is
I am.
bigoted. He is a shonen bigot. So
Yep.
it's time for him to meet that one black friend or watch that one
So
shonen
essentially,
anime to
I
finally
told
get his conversion therapy.
yeah, essentially I told Julius, okay, I'll watch a shonen. And I decided on a show that has a banger of a first opening, despite the fact
Yes.
that many people don't think it's the best opening.
Yeah, I don't think it is, but it's definitely up there. I really love the
Yeah,
first opening.
but no, I was
Um,
like, I think our agreement was I'll watch uh My Hero Academia within the next like 4 shows.
yeah,
I'll watch
it's
because
on the queue.
yeah, there's stuff that I
It's
wanted to
on the
watch for a
queue.
while before that.
But yes, the first season's only about I think what is it? It's 12 or
Like
13 episodes,
13
and the
or
rest of them
I'm
are
pretty sure, yeah.
25. So it's first season isn't
Ooh, it's a
even
long
that bad
watch.
to get through.
Yeah. Um, but no, yeah, like I said, there's some stuff that's on the queue. Uh, I'll give you a hint. I'm gonna be watching Fate Stay Night next, probably.
Fuck me.
That's my yeah, buddy. Yeah, it sucks to be you.
I'm actually somewhat interested in it, and I don't really know what the fuck is happening or what is going to happen in it. So it'll be blind dive into the show.
Yeah, if you would have told me a month that I'd be watching Fate, I would have laughed in your face. Like a month ago,
Yeah.
but um, no, I mean like so basically with Fate, and I'll have to tell you about this. The watch order is weird,
Yeah.
because like new studios picked it up, and then at one
Wacky
point 2
watch
different
order.
studios did the same show. Basically, the it started as a visual novel, and there were 3 routes, and you had to play the routes in sequential order. And the first route was Fate. The second route was Unlimited Blade Works, and the third route is Heaven's Feel, not Heaven's Door, Heaven's Feel. Um,
Heaven's Door.
I was about to say Heaven's Door, and
Okay,
then
everybody. And after this, after Caden watches the Fate series, it is confirmed he is going to start playing the Fate Grand Order mobile game. He
that's
will
correct.
download it as soon as
That's
as soon as the credits have rolled for the final Fate
I would
installment that he watches.
I would rather watch the anime opening, which I will. But and then there's a prequel called Fate Zero. I don't know if I'll be getting to
Yeah,
that, but
I didn't know that was a prequel because I mean it's called Zero, but like I think everyone generally regards that one as the best installment. I
yeah,
think it's the
I
most
think so.
popular
But
and everyone likes it the best. So you're
basically
gonna
the way
so the what's the first one you're gonna watch?
so you start out with uh Fate Stay Night, which was made by Studio Dean, which so the Studio Dean made ones, and I forget what the other series is. For sake of I don't know the name, I'll call it Z series or Z Studio. Um, but the Studio Dean adaptations are widely regarded as worse than the Z Studio ones.
Yeah.
Um, but so first there's Fate Stay Night, and then both Studio Dean and the other studio made adaptations of Fate Unlimited Blade Works,
Okay.
um, which is the second route. And so the Studio Dean one is a movie, and the one that the other studio made is actually 2 seasons of a TV show.
Oh yeah, and they made both Fate Zero installments. So it's by I don't know if it's UFO Table or UFO Table, but they also made Demon Slayers.
Oh,
That's
okay.
really one of the only popular ones they made actually.
Yeah, and then they made 3 movies of the Heaven's Feel route, the new studio, which I think
Oh,
the
those
last one
fucking
actually came out.
movies.
The last one came out in August of this year,
Yeah,
and then there's Zero,
another
which is a prequel.
franchise.
So yeah, I don't know how much of that I'll be watching. I don't even know if it's confirmed that I will be watching it because originally I was going to watch Gurren Lagann after this, but then I was like, I'm not
Yeah.
going to watch Gurren Lagann yet. Um,
All right.
But yeah, so we have I have a lot of shit to
We got shit to watch. Okay.
God, it's crazy to think that it's gonna be our December episode.
Hell yes.
There's already
December,
upon
baby. One of the greatest months. Top tier month.
Yes.
Top tier,
I love
baby.
December. I hate this year.
I don't have anything else to talk about.
No, yeah, I'm pretty much
I watched earlier. I watched the movie Boys in the Hood. Very good movie. It has
watch Boys in the
pretty
Hood
good
too, though.
performance. No, it's the funny thing about Boys in the Hood was the funny thing is Boys in the Hood is actually directed by the same guy who directed Too Fast, Too Furious.
No, it's not Justin Lin.
It's not directed by Justin Lin.
Who was it? Is it just some guy?
John Singleton.
Oh, just some guy, apparently.
Yeah, just some dude.
Yeah, nice.
Ice Cube's in it. Ice Cube's in Boys in the Hood. You know, it's a very good movie.
Yeah,
I like it.
Maybe we'll cover that one on the next episode.
Our Boys in the Hood commentary, where we watch this fucking depressing commentary on the what America's done to black people.
I'd have to bleep out a lot of certain racial words in that.
Epithets.
Yes.
I love that word. Yeah. Epithets. Not the N-word. I love the word epithets.
Yeah, you like the N-word?
Fucking damn it.
Oh, man.
God damn it. Don't quit that.
No, this was definitely a shorter episode, I think. But I mean...
Sure. It's the shortest episode we've had in a while, I think. Well, actually... I don't know.
We've had ever. Not ever. Hopefully not ever. I hope not. That'd suck.
No, I don't think we'll ever be. The first episode was literally like an hour long.
Hey man, this is
hour 2.
An hour. But yeah, no, I mean I don't really have anything else to talk about.
Yeah, I mean oh yeah, well, I mean elephant in the room, you know. Joe Biden won. Cope, Trump supporters. I hope you're doing okay at home.
Mr. Biden. Yes. Yeah, stay tuned. Fucking Doctor Stone Season 2, Beastar Season 2, Evangelion movie. It's all coming out in January. Literally all
Hell
of those
yeah.
are
Oh
coming out
shit.
in January.
I don't know if that'll be our January episode, if depending on how it's all spread out, but
I'll tell you what, Evangelion's gonna be like our June episode.
Yeah.
It's out in America.
It's gonna be content. It's gonna be content time.
No,
so stay tuned, baby. Yes. As Papa John said, I'm trying to find the exact quote.
The time of reckoning is coming.
Just stay tuned.
The day of reckoning. Oh, yeah. The day of reckoning will come. Stay tuned.
I've eaten over 40 pizzas in the last month.
For those 30 days.
It fucking looks like it, dude. He looks so like...
He's drenched in that photo. Enough about Papa John.
Enough about the Papa.
Yes.
Pop.
Thank you guys for listening. And we'll see you in the next episode.
Papa John's pizza, bro. That's some low tier shit.
Okay.
Some low tier shit.
True.
I hear everyone shitting on Little Caesars, and I get pissed. It's like, shit is good. How are you gonna say what is top tier pizza to those people if not Little Caesars? What, Domino's? Domino's is good. It's up there with Little Caesars. Why can't act like two legends cannot coexist, as J. Cole would say? Just not to insinuate that I'm a J. Cole fan, because
all right.
I don't want to associate those heathens.
Thank you guys for listening to this episode. Yeah.
This is another episode of the Misfortune Podcast. This is the part where Elm should be reaching the point where it's like, oh, there's that weird little glitch noise at the end. I like that.
All right, bye guys.
Bye.